Yes, hello everyone, welcome on YourPedia platform. Hope you all are fine, preparing well. So guys, we are studying refrigeration and air conditioning. In some of the last classes, guys, we discussed about refrigeration, basic introduction part, air refrigeration system we discussed, and last class we solved some problems related to VCRS. All previous year problems were discussed. In today's class, we will further discuss some more about VCRS. Okay, I mentioned in the earlier lecture also, there are some of the operating parameters like the condenser pressure, the evaporator pressure, the superheating, subcooling, okay, and if you're using some kind of liquid suction heat exchanger, some kind of regenerative heat exchanger if you're using, so what is the effect of all those operating conditions on the performance of VCRS? That is our today's topic of discussion. So let's start our discussion, guys. Effect of operating parameters, effect of operating parameters on performance of VCRS, on performance of VCRS cycle, vapor compression refrigeration cycle, or what you can say vapor compression refrigeration system. Okay, so let me here write the first operating parameter. So you can say the evaporator pressure, evaporator pressure. Okay, so suppose if I will draw here the VCRS cycle diagram, something like this. So this is the pressure line, this is the volume axis, okay, or let me draw the TS diagram only, TS diagram and the pH diagram, okay, because these two diagrams are more important for us. So let me draw it here pressure, and here let me draw enthalpy. Most of the you can say different, when we obtain the refrigeration effect, the work input into VCRS system, all those we get in terms of change in enthalpy only. And the evaporator pressure, two processes are constant pressure process. Okay, one process is isenthalpic in VCRS. So two processes constant pressure, one isenthalpic, and also it is very easy to find out refrigeration effect by only you need to take the change in enthalpy, and that change in enthalpy easily you can get from this x-axis. So that's why most of the time we draw pH diagram for VCRS cycle, which is famously known as pressure enthalpy diagram. Okay, this is TS diagram. So if we will talk about type 1 refrigerant, for type 1 refrigerant on TS diagram, we will have a curve something like this, some kind of symmetric dome we will have. Okay, but in PS diagram we have a dome something like this. Okay, we have a dome something like this. Okay, so if we will talk about standard VCRS, let me draw it here. Standard VCRS, this is the inlet to the compressor, this is exit to the compressor, and this is isenthalpic expansion something like this. Okay, then constant pressure heat addition in the in the evaporator, this is heat addition. Okay, then isentropic compression process something like this. Okay, then constant pressure heat rejection. Okay, constant pressure heat rejection in the condenser. Actually I am assuming this is actually the standard VCRS. What I am taking the saturated vapor at the compressor inlet. Okay, most of the cases this is the condition, but it may be superheated also, it may be slightly what you can say wet also. Okay, but wet compression is not good for compressor. We will discuss all these things in detail, don't worry. So P on PS diagram, if I will draw this again VCRS cycle diagram, so this is the compressor inlet, and this is your condenser exit. Okay, and this is the isenthalpic line, guys, this is the isenthalpic line, and here this is the curve something like this, because entropy will increase, because this is an irreversible process, this is an highly irreversible process. So entropy क्या करेगा यहाँ पे increase करेगा. Okay, this is not isentropic expansion, this is isenthalpic expansion, throttling process what you can say. So here the enthalpy is constant, that's why you need to show here vertical line. यहाँ पे क्या आएगी एक vertical line, and then here this is the something like this. This is the constant pressure heat addition in the evaporator. Okay, then here you will have isentropic lines. These are the isentropic lines, PV की power gamma equal to constant. These are isentropic line. Okay, and again you will have constant pressure heat rejection in the condenser. Okay, So this is constant pressure heat rejection. You know, these two processes are pressure constant, this and this is isenthalpic process, and this is isentropic process. So this, for this, H equal to constant. So suppose if you write here 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, so something like this. The cycle will be anti-clockwise, and here also, suppose this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay. So this is a TS diagram, this is PS diagram. Now if you want to observe the effect of evaporator pressure, so let me take a case of decreasing the evaporator pressure. Okay, decreasing the evaporator pressure. So if you will decrease the evaporator pressure such that, so this evaporator pressure, this is the evaporator pressure. Okay, so suppose this point is 4 dash and this point is 1 dash. Okay, this is 4 dash and this is 1 dash. Now this is the refrigeration effect you will get. Okay, and this line must be something like this, because keeping the condenser pressure same, keeping the same condenser pressure, so this is 2 dash, yes or no? And guys, these two isentropic curve, actually their slope changes, like at here they are more steeper. Okay, at this particular lower pressure the curve is less steeper. Okay, thoda sa kya hogi, the curve must be something like this, and as you will increase the pressure, the curve slope will increase, something like this. Okay, so these are the isentropic curve in the superheated region. ये जो curve हमें show कर रही हैं, these are the isentropic curve in the superheated region. I will show you the constant temperature curve also, don't worry, when I will talk about superheating and effect of superheating and subcooling. Okay, so here you need to remember these are the what you can say, isentropic curve. Okay, reversible adiabatic compression process. So their slope क्या करेगा इनका, that will increase as you will increase the pressure, something like this. Okay, so if you will observe here also, if you will show the decrease in condenser pressure, so this line further will go here, and you will have a line something like this. So this is 4 dash, okay, and this is 1 dash, 4 dash 1 dash, and again you need to compress to the same condenser pressure. So this is 2, so the process must be something like this. Okay, the process must be something like this. So this is 2 dash. So this is constant pressure line, guys. This is the same constant pressure line, same constant pressure line. Okay, but one thing you can clearly observe from this, ki the T2 dash is more than T2, that you can easily observe. T2 dash is more than T2. Okay, this temperature will be more than this. So this is the what you can say, heat addition in the evaporator. This is the heat addition, what you can say, refrigeration effect produced, and this is the compressor work. Now what we are observing, guys, decreasing the evaporator pressure. This actually plot we have drawn for decrease in evaporator pressure. Okay, now if I will ask you what is the effect of this, what is the effect? After observing this diagram, I don't know you have drawn this or not, but if you will observe this carefully, easily you can say effect of decreasing evaporator pressure, effect of decreasing evaporator pressure on performance of VCRS. So किस तरह का हमें इफेक्ट देखने को मिल रहा है, गाइस? फर्स्ट, रेफ्रिजरेशन इफेक्ट will decrease. If you will decrease the evaporator pressure, from this also you can observe what is the refrigeration effect, guys? Refrigeration effect will be H1 dash minus H4 dash, yes or no? H1 dash minus H4 dash, this is the refrigeration effect. Okay, so this minus this minus this, so refrigeration effect क्या करेगा, that will decrease. Okay, from easily you can observe from this diagram. Okay, in this earlier case, here also if you will observe, because this is the enthalpy diagram, this is the pH diagram, so it is easy to observe the refrigeration effect. Guys, in the first case, when the condenser pressure is high, so this is the refrigeration effect, like H1 minus H4, this particular blue line, this is the refrigeration effect in the first case, RE1. Now what is the refrigeration effect? This is the refrigeration effect, this one, only this one, and this is less than that, easily you can observe. So refrigeration effect क्या करेगा आपका, decrease करेगा, refrigeration effect will decrease. Now if I will ask you compressor work, W compressor, that will increase, it will increase. W compressor क्या करेगा? It will increase. Okay. There are two reasons to actually to increase in compressor work. First, the pressure ratio is increasing. Pressure ratio is increasing. Okay. Pressure ratio क्या कर रहा है आपका? Increase कर रहा है. Okay. दूसरा, when the compressor, like here, if you will observe here, this particular case, this particular case, okay, this is the work like H2 minus H1. This is the compressor work input. Like in the first case, when the evaporator pressure is large, when you are dropping the evaporator pressure, this is the work, guys. H2 dash, like let me write it here, H2 dash minus H1 dash. This is the compressor work, WC. You can observe here very clearly, this lower point is 1 dash, this lower point is 1 dash, this is 2 dash, so H2 minus H1 dash, this is the compressor work. In earlier case, this particular difference, this is the compressor work, okay. And now what is the compressor work, guys? This is the compressor work. And easily you can observe from this कि the compressor work क्या कर रहा है आपका? That is increasing, okay, because your pressure ratio is increasing, okay. And here one more thing you can observe कि here the temperature is increasing, the exit temperature, the temperature inside the compressor, the temperature inside the compressor when you are increasing, that is increasing, okay. So overall that effect is to what you can say, increase in the compressor work, okay. One more point if you will add here, I will relate it with that also. Volumetric efficiency of the compressor. Volumetric efficiency of compressor. Guys, you know, volumetric efficiency of compressor, we can represent it as 1 plus C minus C P2 by P1 की power 1 by N. This is the expression actually we write it for the volumetric efficiency of the compressor, okay. So you know, जैसे जैसे pressure ratio आपका बढ़ेगा, so this volumetric efficiency क्या करेगी? It will decrease, okay. So volumetric efficiency of the compressor will decrease. It will decrease. Why it will decrease? Let me come to that, okay. So you know, guys, the compressor, let me draw it here. The compressor is actually what you can say, device which is compressing the refrigerant, okay. From low pressure, low temperature refrigerant, it is converting into high pressure, high temperature refrigerant. So the compression process, you are having something like this. Suppose this is the exit pressure and suppose this is the inlet pressure, okay. So the compression will go something like this. The compression process goes something like this. Let me show it here. So this will be something like this. Okay, something like this. So these are the isentropic lines, PV की power gamma equal to constant, okay, and the cycle must be something like this. This is actually a PV diagram, pressure versus volume diagram, okay. So suppose if I will mark different points here, suppose this is 1, 2, okay, 1, 2, या चलो मैं यहाँ पे दिखा देता हूँ जो point हम यहाँ पे ले रहे हैं. हाँ, yes, we are locating here also 1 and 2. This is 1 and 2, okay, 1 and 2. So this is 1 and 2, okay. Then this is 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are showing only isentropic compression. This is the compression 1 to 2. But in actual case, when a compressor is compressing a refrigerant, again it is sucking that fluid also, because then only it will be able to compress. So 3 to 4 is actually this is the suction process in which the refrigerant is entering into the compressor, and during this process it is compressing. Are you getting point? There is not only compression, like how you will be able to compress the charge if there is no charge is entering into the compressor. So actually there is a suction stroke is there. The piston will move from some TDC to BDC, like if I will talk about a reciprocating compressor. So this is actually for a reciprocating compressor. Reciprocating compressor, okay. So this particular volume, this is actually clearance volume. इसे हम क्या बोलते हैं? This is the clearance volume, VC, okay. And this particular volume, guys, this volume, this is the swept volume, the volume swept by the piston while moving from TDC to BDC, and this entire volume guys, this is the total volume, this is the total volume, इसे हम क्या बोलते हैं, V total. ओके और जो ये हमने C लिखा है बच्चों, ये जो C हमने इसमें मेंशन किया है, दिस पर्टिकुलर C, दिस C इज नथिंग बट द क्लियरेंस रेशियो, इसे हम क्या बोलते हैं, क्लियरेंस रेशियो. ओके एंड दिस इज नथिंग बट VC by VS, or what you can say, this is V3 by V1 minus V3, because what is V1 minus V3? V1 minus V3 is the swept volume and V3 is your clearance volume, so this particular ratio is your clearance ratio. Okay, so एक volumetric efficiency एक term होती है बच्चों, you know volumetric efficiency, this is the ratio of the actual volume intake divided by the maximum volume which एक device can intake. Actual breathing, this is actually measure of the breathing capacity, इसे हम क्या बोलते हैं, breathing capacity, measure of breathing capacity, measure of breathing capacity. Okay, so what is the actual volume intake by the compressor divided by the maximum volume which can enter into the compressor. So you know guys, maximum volume which can enter into the compressor, that is V1 minus V3, because this is the swept volume. V1 minus V3, this is the maximum volume which can enter, but actual volume जितना enter कर रहा है, that is only equal to V1 minus V4. This is the actual volume entered in the compressor. How? Why you are not saying कि sir actual volume is V1 minus V3? Because here when the compressor is like compress the charge and now the valve will open and the high pressure charge will go outside, then the piston is at some you can say at some TDC, so there is some clearance is there, and in that clearance region what is present guys, the high pressure refrigerant is present. So the refrigerant will go outside but not entire refrigerant, some part of the refrigerant will remain inside the piston cylinder arrangement, so some part of the refrigerant will remain inside the system. So due to that, that will exert some pressure inside that. So at this particular point guys, the pressure inside the compressor is more than the exit the outside atmospheric pressure, or what you can say the evaporator pressure, because this compressor is attached to the evaporator, so we cannot say exit pressure. So this pressure, the pressure at the clearance, this V3, that is more than the evaporator pressure. So the compressor will not able to suck the charge. Like from how actually the charge is moving into the evaporator? The charge is moving because when the compressor is sucking that charge. Okay. So when the compressor will be able to suck the charge? When the pressure inside the compressor will drop, you can say then the evaporator pressure. So if the pressure is less, then only it will be able to suck the charge. Are you getting my point? So this here, due to the charge present, that you can note it down guys, due to some amount of charge present at the TDC, the pressure at the end of the compression is more than the evaporator pressure, so the charge will not enter into the compressor. Then the piston will start moving, and when it will reach to this particular point, then the pressure will drop actually significant value, the pressure will drop to some significant value, and now the charge will start entering into the compressor. So actual intake will take place in this particular stroke only. Constant pressure, this is actually the constant pressure line, this 2 to 3, 4 to 1, this is constant pressure suction, this is discharge. Okay, and this is actually what, how you can say that constant pressure discharge, because the piston is also moving, you are compressing also, and at the same time the charge is going out, so that is actually a constant pressure discharge. Similarly, the piston is moving and more charge is entering, so this is actually a constant pressure charge is entering. Then isentropic compression, and this is the isentropic expansion. These are the different processes, but generally we show it by this only because this is the isentropic compression which is taking place. But if you draw the cycle diagram for compressor, you need to draw it something like this. Are you getting point? So at the end of the compression stroke, there is some kind of charge present inside the system. Let me write it here. Due to the charge charge का मतलब क्या है? Refrigerant present at the end of compression discharge, it will exert the pressure is more than the evaporator pressure. So due to that, no suction of the charge will take place. no suction of the charge will takes place. Okay, due to that no suction of the charge will take place, actual suction will take place in this particular range only. And this you can write it like something like this, guys. If I will write this V1 minus V4, so V1 minus V4 you can write it as V1 minus V3, this total V1 minus V3 minus V4 minus V3 divided by V1 minus V3, yes or no? Can I write this V1 minus V4? Can I write this V1 minus V4 as this V1 minus V3 minus this V4 minus V3? Yes, we can write, because this is equal to this entire minus this. Okay, तो इसको अगर आप further solve करोगे, let me write it here, volumetric efficiency that is equal to 1 minus V4 minus V3 divided by V4, this because this will cancel out, so this is V4 minus V3 divided by, what is V1 minus V3, guys? Can I write this as Vs? Can I write this as Vs, guys? क्या मैं इसको Vs लिख सकता हूँ? बिल्कुल, I can write it as Vs. Okay. So further if you will solve this, guys, so this will be 1 minus V4 by Vs plus V3 by Vs. Yes or no? So volumetric efficiency will be 1 plus, what is this, guys? Let me write it here, 1 plus, what is this V3 by Vs? I mentioned here, V3 is the clearance volume, V3 is the clearance volume and Vs is the swept volume, so this is actually the clearance ratio. This is actually the clearance ratio, so I can write it as 1 plus C minus V4 by V3 into V3 by Vs. If I will multiply by Vs and divide it by Vs, I can write it like this also. So 1 plus C minus V4 by Vs. इस V4 by Vs को मैंने क्या कर दिया? I divided by V3 multiplied by V3. Okay. So further you can write it like that, 1 plus C minus. What is this V3 by Vs, guys? What is this V3 by Vs? Again this is C. So 1 plus C minus C into, what is this V4 by V3? This V4 by V3. This is actually a isentropic expansion, and for this, suppose this is the high pressure, P2, I can write it as P2 because P2 equal to P3, and I can write this as a P1. This lower pressure, this is P1, this is the high pressure P2, okay, and this is the isentropic expansion process. So you know the relationship for the isentropic expansion relationship, so let me write it here. P2 by P1, P2 by P1, high pressure, P2 by P1, okay, or you can write it like this also, P3 by P4, because these are equal, P2 equal to P3 and P1 equal to P4, P1 equal to P4, okay, and P2 equal to P3. So let me write it in terms of 3 and 4 only. So P3 by P4, that is equal to what? That is equal to V4 by V3 की power gamma. Yes or no? Or if you will consider a polytropic process, then it will be N. Yes or no? For a polytropic process it will be N, for a isentropic compression process it will be gamma. So let me write it like gamma, if I am assuming isentropic compression expansion. So from this V4 by V3, you can write it as V4 by V3, you can write it as, what is this P3? It is the high pressure, P2 is the low pressure. So this you can write it as P2 by P1 also, okay, की power 1 by gamma. Okay, so if you will put this value here, you will get volumetric efficiency of the compressor equal to 1 plus C minus C into P2 by P1 की power 1 by gamma. Okay, or you can write it like this also, volumetric efficiency is equal to 1 plus C minus C into RP, pressure ratio की power 1 by N. If there is a polytropic compression or expansion, then you can write it like this. Okay, for the range of N greater than 1 less than gamma, polytropic compression. So from this easily you can observe that as you will increase the pressure ratio, the volumetric efficiency decreases. As you will increase the pressure ratio, the volumetric efficiency decreases. And why actually it is happening? Because when you are increasing the pressure ratio, the air present at the end of the discharge, that pressure will be very high. And if that pressure is very high, so the drop in pressure, like although your TDC is more, so the drop in pressure required for actually entering the charge from the evaporator, that also will be more. So volumetric efficiency will further decrease as you will increase the pressure ratio. Are you getting a point, guys? From this also, from direct relationship you can observe, if this is increasing, so volumetric efficiency क्या करेगी आपकी, that will decrease. Okay, so that is a conclusion, guys. You can write about the effect of evaporator pressure. Okay, effect of evaporator pressure, रेफ्रिजरेशन इफेक्ट आपका डिक्रीज करेगा, कंप्रेसर वर्क आपका इंक्रीज करेगा, द वॉल्यूमेट्रिक एफिशिएंसी आपका डिक्रीज करेगी, एंड इफ यू राइट अबाउट सीओपी, COP will also decrease. COP will also decrease. COP क्या कर जाएगी आपकी बच्चों? That will decrease. Okay. Now let me move to another point. अब आपसे कोई पूछे इवोपरेटर प्रेशर आप बढ़ा दोगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? You will have advantage if evaporator pressure is more, but that depends on the operating conditions, the application. Okay, refrigerants also. It is not actually not in our hand. Like we need to keep the evaporator pressure as much as high possible. Okay, but there is a limitation. Like suppose some kind of refrigerant you are using, and depending on the application of the of that particular condition, suppose some evaporator temperature you want to produce. Suppose you want to maintain a evaporator temperature of -20 degrees Celsius. So at -20 degrees Celsius, you need to evaporate. You need to boil that refrigerant present in the evaporator. So you need to maintain some pressure. So the temperature evaporator, that depends on the application. Suppose you want to freeze some kind of you want to cool some kind of substance, you want to freeze, or you want to maintain some negative temperature. So based on that, you need to choose the saturation temperature in the evaporator. Are you getting a point? Which saturation temperature? That for that particular refrigerant which you are using in that system, corresponding to that saturation temperature, you need to choose the saturation pressure, and that you need to maintain actually. If you will not maintain, there will be no what you can say boiling will take place, and there will be no refrigeration effect we will get. Are you getting? So that depends on many factors, but what idea we are getting, it is better to keep the refrigeration evaporator temperature, evaporator pressure, or what you can say temperature also, as high as possible. Okay, now let us move to third point. Second point, effect of increasing condenser pressure. Increasing condenser pressure. What is the effect of increasing condenser pressure? Again guys, if I will draw here the TS diagram and the PS diagram for VCRS. So this is TS, okay, you will have a curve something like this. Okay, this is the pH diagram, pressure enthalpy diagram, you will have a curve something like this. Okay, so let me show it the standard diagram something like this. So this is the standard VCRS. Okay, this one is the standard VCRS, and here also let me show the standard VCRS. So it will be something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, something like this. Now if you will increase the condenser pressure, अगर आपने condenser pressure बढ़ा दिया, suppose, so 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 3 and this is 4. Okay. If you will increase the condenser pressure, so the curve will go something like this. So this is the suppose the high pressure, okay, and this will be the discharge. Okay, so this is 3, this is 2 dash, this is 3 dash, okay, and now the expansion will be something like this, keeping the same evaporator pressure. So this is 4 dash, yes or no guys? And here also, so if you are increasing the condenser pressure, so the curve will go something like this. This is the high pressure and the curve will be something like this. Okay, and then this is the expansion. So this is 2 dash and this is 3 dash and this is 4 dash. Here also you can observe this point is 1, this is 2 dash, this is 3 dash, and this point is 4 dash. So this is the increase in condenser pressure on TS diagram, and this is on pH diagram. Okay. Now if you will observe here guys, what you can say directly, now you have that kind of understanding. What is the effect on refrigeration effect? Refrigeration effect पे क्या फर्क पड़ेगा बच्चों? You can easily observe refrigeration effect क्या होगा? In second case में refrigeration effect will be H1 minus H4 dash, okay, and that is less than as compared to H1 minus H4. Yes or no? In the previous case also, if you are interested to write it like that, you can write. So H1 minus H4 dash, that is less than H1 minus H4. So what you can say? It will decrease. It will decrease. Refrigeration effect क्या करेगा? That will decrease. Okay, now if you will talk about W in compressor, W compressor, what is W compressor guys? W compressor will be H2 dash minus H1, okay, H2 dash minus H1, and that is more than as compared to what? H2 minus H1, okay, because pressure ratio is also increasing here. You can observe here the pressure ratio is increasing, okay, so the compressor work WC will increase, it will increase, W compressor will increase, okay, W compressor क्या करेगा आपका? It will increase. You know guys, W compressor you can easily show, like if you want to show the compressor work that is actually a open system device, so although we can consider it as a closed system also, but for open system device the compressor work we can represent it as a VDP, WC that is equal to minus integration VDP, okay, where V is the volume, specific volume compressor is handling, specific volume compressor is handling, specific volume किसका? Specific volume of refrigerant, specific volume of refrigerant, okay, and this you can write in terms of PV expression also, easily you can write, okay, this from this you can write it in terms of the PV expression, okay, assuming the ideal gas PV equal to nRT, then you will be easily able to write that expression. So what you need to understand, pressure ratio अगर बढ़ता है, high pressure ratio, high pressure ratio, more will be the work input, more will be the work input. Also, you know, W compressor, that is actually a function that depends on the temperature also, the temperature entry, inlet temperature to compressor, temperature inlet to compressor, okay, inlet to compressor. So temperature agar more, like the gas which is entering into the compressor, if it is entering at high temperature, then what will happen? The specific volume of the gas will increase, V will be high, okay, and work will be more, WC will be more, okay. Like if the specific, you know, this compressor is actually compressing a vapor refrigerant. So if it is entering at high temperature, so its specific volume will be large. So the large volume a compressor needs to handle, then your work input will increase. Okay. So these are the points: high pressure ratio, more work input. So in this case, what you can say, the refrigeration effect is decreasing, the work input is increasing, and same with what? Third point you can write. Third point, the COP will decrease. COP क्या करेगी? It will decrease. And again the volumetric efficiency also. Efficiency volumetric will decrease. Because here also the pressure ratio is increasing. So volumetric efficiency क्या करेगी? Increase करेगी. So वहाँ यहाँ पे आप एक नोट डाल के लिख सकते हैं. The effect of increase in condenser pressure, is similar to the effect of decrease in evaporator pressure. Okay, the effect of increase in condenser pressure is similar to the effect of decrease in evaporator pressure. Chaliye, now let us move to next discussion. Third, effect of superheating. Okay, superheating का मतलब क्या होता है? Providing the refrigerant at the entry of compressor more than the T saturation in the evaporator. T saturation in the evaporator. ओके एक पॉइंट भी होता है जिसे बोलते हैं डिग्री ऑफ सुपरहीट. डिग्री ऑफ सुपरहीट. What do you mean by degree of superheat? Degree of superheat क्या होता है? This is the temperature inlet to compressor. Temperature inlet to compressor minus T saturation in evaporator. Minus T saturation. Okay. So this is the degree of superheating. Okay, so providing the refrigerant at the entry of the compressor more than the T saturation is known as what you can say superheating. Why this is required? All these things we will discuss. So let me first show you the superheating on the TS and pH diagram. Okay. Superheating on TS and pH diagram. So this is temperature line, this is entropy, this is pressure, and this is the enthalpy line. Again, let me draw the saturation curve here and here also. Okay, so this is your standard VCRS, something like this. This is your standard VCRS. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is standard VCRS. Here also 1, then 2, 3, 4. This is your standard VCRS. Now if you are carrying out superheating means providing the refrigerant atom. This is actually the saturation temperature guys. इस temperature को क्या बोलते हैं? This is T saturation in the evaporator. ये क्या है? This is T saturation in the condenser. This is also the saturation temperature in the condenser. Or what you can say? This is the pressure P condenser. Okay, or saturation pressure in the condenser, and this is P evaporator, or what you can say saturation pressure in the evaporator. Yes or no? This is saturation pressure in the evaporator, saturation pressure in the condenser. This is T saturation in the evaporator, and this is T saturation in the condenser. Okay, now if you are heating this particular refrigerant further, यहाँ पे अगर आप इसको heat करते हैं, how you will heat? You will heat at constant pressure only. So you need to extend this line something like this. Okay, let me use another color so that you will be able to analyze it. So let me choose another color. So this is the constant pressure line guys. You know constant pressure line कैसे होती है आपकी? These are the constant pressure line. ये आपकी कौन सी होती है? आपकी constant pressure line, something like this. Okay, so this line will go something like this. Okay, and then you will have isentropic compression. You will have isentropic compression. Okay, isentropic compression. And then this is the evaporator, this is the condenser pressure. So this is 1 dash, this is 2 dash. Yes or no? So this is actually the compression process. This is the compression process with superheating. This is compression process with superheating. Okay, because the inlet to the compressor is not the saturation, not the refrigerant at saturation temperature. This is the particular what you can say refrigerant, or what you can say when superheating का मतलब क्या होता है? Superheating means superheating means providing superheated refrigerant at the entry of compressor. If that at the entry of the compressor there is a superheated vapor is entering, that is known as superheating. Superheated, because you know this region is known as superheated region, this is subcooled region, and this is your wet region. Why this superheating is required, that we will discuss, don't worry. Next slide में मैं वो discuss करूँगा. Okay, so this is actually the superheating. Here also if you will show the superheating, so this line will further extend somewhere here. Okay, so this is 1 dash, and then you will have this slope will decrease, you know. यहाँ पे slope क्या होगा? That will be more, and here you will have a slope something like this. Okay, so this is 2 dash. This is 2 dash. Okay, दिस इज 2 डैश, द प्रोसेस विल बी समथिंग लाइक दिस. इसको मैं क्या बोलूंगा, दिस 1 डैश टू 1, व्हाट यू कैन से T 1 डैश माइनस T1. दिस इज नोन एज डिग्री ऑफ सुपरहीट. Degree of superheat. Because what is T1? T1 dash. T1 is the inlet to the compressor. What is T1? T1 is the saturation temperature in the evaporator, because this is a constant temperature line. This is actually a constant temperature line. T1 equal to T4, that is equal to T evaporator. So T1 dash minus T1. T1 dash minus T1, that is known as degree of superheating. Okay. Now let me here discuss what you can say advantage of superheating. पहले तो हम बात करते हैं why superheating required. Why superheating is required. Guys, actually superheating is required to ensure the dry compression. To ensure the dry compression. Guys, here if you are not carrying out superheating, there may be chances like because suppose if the saturated vapor is not entering, suppose some kind of wet refrigerant is entering into the compression, then if your compression is in this particular region, अगर आपका compression कुछ यहाँ पे है, this particular compression, इसे हम क्या बोलेंगे, suppose this is 1 double dash to 2 double dash, तो इस लाइन को मैं क्या बोलूँगा, this is known as wet compression. This is wet compression. Okay. और इसे मैं क्या बोलूँगा, this line, this is known as dry compression. Dry compression. Okay. So we are carrying out superheating actually to ensure the dry compression. Why? Because this is good for compressor. It is good. It is good for compressor. Guys, जब भी wet compression होता है, जब भी wet compression होता है, let me write it here. Wet compression, इससे क्या होता है, वियर टियर ज्यादा होता है, मोर वियर एंड टियर, मोर वियर एंड टियर ड्यू टू lubricant sweep out by the refrigerant. जो liquid refrigerant है, because when the wet refrigerant is entering, so it is having some liquid refrigerant also in it. There are vapor particles also, there are liquid particles also. So those liquid particles, they will sweep the refrigerant, like they sweep the lubricant, and due to that sweeping out of the refrigerant lubricant, there will be more wear and tear in the wet compression. Okay, next, the wet compression can damage. Wet compression can damage the walls of compressor. You know, liquids are incompressible. Liquids क्या होता है बच्चों? These are incompressible. So if you are carrying out wet compression, so that wet compression can damage the walls of your compressor. Wet compression क्या कर सकती है? आपके walls को क्या कर सकती है? That those can be damaged. Okay. So we actually don't prefer wet compression. Wet compression को हम कभी भी prefer नहीं कर सकते. So that's why we always go for dry compression, and superheating we are carrying out to actually ensure the dry compression. Okay. To ensure the dry compression. That is the ultimate aim of carrying out superheating. But इसका effect क्या हो सकता है? That I will discuss separately here. If I will talk about effect of superheating, superheating का effect क्या हो सकता है? Why superheating is required? If anybody will ask you, you need to mention this. Sir, to ensure the dry compression, it is good for compressor because dry compression is good for compressor. Why it is good? These things you can mention. Okay. Now, if I will ask you the effect of superheating, effect of superheating. Effect of superheating on VCRS performance. Effect of superheating on VCRS performance. Okay. So पहला point आप इसमें क्या लिख सकते हैं? The refrigeration effect will increase only, will increase if we are carrying out superheating in the evaporator. Superheating in the evaporator. like this particular process, guys, this one dash to one, if this process is happening inside the evaporator, then you can say that refrigeration effect will increase, because what will be the refrigeration effect? Refrigeration effect क्या हो जाएगा? H1 dash minus H4, or here also you can say H1 dash minus H4, but that refrigeration effect you will get if superheating is carrying out in the evaporator. All the times you cannot say that the superheating is there in the evaporator, because if you are carrying out superheating in the evaporator, okay, then we need to increase the size. We need to increase the size of evaporator. Size of evaporator, हमें additional size रखना पड़ेगा. If you want to ensure the superheating inside the evaporator only, if you want to ensure that, then you need to keep some additional size of the evaporator. Okay, so the system will become bulky. Generally, we carry out superheating with using some kind of heat exchanger also. We attach some kind of heat exchanger at the end of the evaporator, and that will ensure the you can say supply of the superheated refrigerant into the compressor, so that the wet you can say dry compression can be ensured. Okay, so if refrigerator will increase only when if the superheating is carried out inside the evaporator. Second, WC will always increase, compressor work क्या work करेगा बच्चों? That will increase. And why it is increasing? Because in this case the pressure ratio is not if you will observe here, this is your evaporator pressure, this is your condenser pressure. You are not changing the pressure, but why it is increasing, guys? Why the work input is increased? I mentioned here, at the temperature inlet temperature to the compressor, that is increasing. Yes or no? By carrying out superheating, this T1 dash, this is more than T1. Yes or no? T1 dash is more than T1, and this also T2 dash is also more than T2. Okay, temperature T2 dash क्या है? That is also more than T2. So when high temperature refrigerant is entering, so what you can say, the specific volume here, the specific volume V1 dash, that will be more than V1. Yes or no? The specific volume of the refrigerant entering into the compressor, those will be more than the initial case. So when specific volume is entering in the compressor, that is more, you know, the compressor work is minus VdP. So if this is more, the compressor work will increase. So from this you can conclude, by increasing by carrying out the superheating, the WC will increase. WC क्या करेगा आपका? It will increase. Okay, so that is very difficult to analyze from this diagram, because you can say the pressure is same, but if you observe here, because if you will go with that slope here, if you will observe, guys, this particular work, this is WC1, compressor work 1, and now this particular enthalpy difference, guys, this enthalpy difference, this is WC2, and this WC2 is more than WC1. That you can observe from this slope of these lines also. ये जो दोनों lines हैं, इनका slope भी आप देख सकते हो. This particular line, this is somewhere here, and this particular line, this is more flatter. Okay, this line is more flatter. ये क्या है आपकी? More flatter, flat. Okay, and this line is more steep actually. This is more steep. Okay, so when this particular line, that it will become vertical, so what you can say, the work supplied will be more when the inlet temperature to the compressor will increase. Okay, so now let me move to next slide. So W compressor will increase, the refrigeration effect will decrease. Now let us come to third point, COP, coefficient of performance. So guys, the COP, it can increase or decrease. It can increase or decrease, depending on the refrigerant used, and the operating conditions, Okay, actually some of the refrigerant, they suits this superheating. Like suppose if you will talk about R11, okay, R11, R12, so these type of refrigerant, for these the superheating increases COP. Okay, but for suppose if you will talk about ammonia, okay, COP will decrease. COP will decrease. So you cannot say carrying out superheating, the COP will increase or decrease. Okay. ठीक है बच्चों. So refrigeration effect, that refrigeration effect will increase only if you are carrying out superheating in the evaporator. Even if you are carrying out superheating into the evaporator, means more refrigeration effect you are getting exposed. Suppose if you will assume the superheating in the evaporator, so refrigeration effect will be more, but W compressor will also increase. So the ratio, the refrigeration effect by WC, that can increase or decrease, okay, or remain unaffected depending on the type of the refrigerant. Are you getting point? But suppose if you are not carrying out superheating in the evaporator, so you are carrying out superheating in the, what you can say, some kind of heat exchanger, then always your the COP will decrease. तब तो आपका COP क्या करेगा, decrease करेगा, because the W compressor will always increase carrying out the superheating, and if superheating is not carrying out in the evaporator, so there will be no change in the refrigeration effect, so your COP will always decrease if you are using some kind of heat exchanger. So this particular effect, COP can increase, decrease, that you can write for a superheating inside the evaporator. Superheating outside the evaporator, COP will always decrease. Okay, but we actually use it with a combined system. When you are talking about a heat exchanger, we use it with a subcooling and superheating. So वहाँ पे आपका the effect of subcooling will also came into picture. Okay, so then again the combined effect you need to say depends on the refrigerant. Are you getting? Subcooling का individual effect we will discuss, and then combined effect of subcooling and subcooling and superheating, that depends on again the refrigerant. Okay, चलिए. Let us move to next slide. Effect of subcooling. This will be our last topic. Effect of subcooling. Effect of subcooling. Subcooling का मतलब क्या होता है बच्चों? It is a process. It is the process of cooling the refrigerant below its saturation temperature, in the condenser. In the condenser, if you are cooling the refrigerant below its saturation temperature, then that is known as subcooling. Okay, and what is degree of subcooling, guys? यहाँ पे भी एक word आता है, degree of subcooling. Degree of subcooling. What do you mean by degree of subcooling, guys? This is the temperature entry to the, what you can say, temperature entry inlet to expansion device. Okay, minus T saturation in condenser. T saturation in you can say कि this particular this is actually most of the cases this is condenser exit temperature only. This is condenser exit, because we can carry out the subcooling in condenser also, because that subcooler is actually a part of condenser. Like if you are carrying out, not always, because if you are carrying out subcooling in the condenser, again what you need to do, you need to increase the size of the condenser. आपको condenser का size क्या करना पड़ेगा, बड़ा करना पड़ेगा, and that practice we generally follow. इसको हम follow करते हैं. But suppose if you are attaching a additional subcooler, there is a condenser unit, with the exit of the condenser is your saturated liquid, okay, at T saturation only, but then it is entering into subcooler, and then you are again further cooling it down to its some lower temperature, that is known as subcooling. Okay, and how you are subcooling, again there is a separate device, so you will supply some kind of water. Some water you will supply into the subcooler, then that water will go into the condenser, or you can supply different supply lines, so like separate water supply line to subcooler, separate water supply line to condenser also, that kind of arrangement you can do. So actually degree of subcooling means inlet temperature to the expansion device minus T saturation in the condenser. This is known as degree of subcooling, and here if you will show it on the PV and TS diagram, PH and TS diagram, so let me show it for you. So this is TS, temperature versus entropy diagram, so you will have a symmetric curve, and then here you can show it on pH diagram also, pressure versus enthalpy diagram. Okay, So this is the curve, something like this. Then here you need to show, if I will show here the standard VCRS, so the cycle will be something like this. This is the standard VCRS 1, 2, 3, 4. This is standard VCRS. Okay, and here also you can show the standard VCRS, something like this. This is the standard VCRS. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you are carrying out subcooling, means here you can carry out this in the condenser also by increasing the size of the condenser, or you can attach a separate subcooler. And in that also, guys, the heat rejection process will be at constant pressure. So actually you need to extend this line up to here. Okay, and this will further go here. Yes or no? So this is 3 dash, this is 4 dash. Here also, because this is a constant pressure line, so that line will be very close to actually this line only, because this is the saturation curve, and that line will be very close to this. Sometime we will show it with that only. Okay, because this is the constant pressure line. Okay, so this is 4 dash, and this point is 3 dash, and this is the constant pressure line. Pressure constant. Pressure constant. Okay. So now can you observe, guys, what is the effect on refrigeration effect? Refrigeration effect पे क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है? Refrigeration effect is what? That is H1 minus H4 dash, and this is more than H1 minus H4. Yes or no? H1 minus H1 dash, that is more than H1 minus H4. So what you can say? This refrigeration effect will increase. Refrigeration effect will increase. Refrigeration effect क्या करेगा आपका? That will increase. Okay. Second, W in क्या करेगा? W in most of the time unaffected. WC unaffected most of the time. Unaffected. Okay, but can increase also. Okay, let me write, because when it can increase, guys, when you are using a subcooler and suppose you are supplying the water, same water into the subcooler and condenser, that also, because different pipeline if you are having, that will increase the cost also. So if you are using a same pipeline, like suppose initially the cold water is entering into the subcooler and then that water is going into the condenser. So the water which will enter into the condenser, that will enter at slightly high temperature as compared to the fresh water directly enter into the condenser. Are you getting the point? So if fresh water will first enter into the subcooler, then it will enter into the condenser, so the temperature will be slightly more. So that's why the condenser temperature pressure will increase. Condenser का temperature pressure क्या हो जाएगा? That will increase, and due to that increase in the condenser pressure, the compressor work will increase. You know, condenser pressure बढ़ता है तो compressor work क्या करता है? That will increase. So work will increase only if you are using the same pipeline for subcooler and what you can say condenser. But that's why for that only we use separate pipeline. अब उससे cost तो बढ़ जाएगा, but work आपका most of the time that will remain unaffected, because here you are supplying separate water, fresh water you are supplying here, and here also you are supplying the fresh water. This is the heat rejection in the condenser, and this is the heat rejection in the subcooler. Okay, चलिए. So WC unaffected रहेगा, COP क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों? COP will increase. COP will increase. COP क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों? That will increase. Okay. So I think these are the points which are very clear. Decrease in condenser pressure, increase in condenser pressure, effect of superheating. Okay. What do you mean by dry compression, wet compression? Okay. तो यहाँ पे आप एक पॉइंट लिख सकते हो, आई मेंशन्ड हियर, yes, WC is actually a function of the temperature and inlet temperature inlet, pressure ratio and gamma. Okay, because if you will develop some kind of expression from this, easily you will get that. ओके, टी इनलेट, प्रेशर रेशियो एंड गामा. तो मैंने यहाँ तो इनलेट लिखा था, प्रेशर के लिए मैंने अलग से आपको बता दिया था, बिकॉज प्रेशर रेशियो इज इंक्रीजिंग, सो कंप्रेशर रेशियो आपका क्या करेगा? कंप्रेसर वर्क विल इंक्रीज. चलिए, सो लेट अस मूव टू द नेक्स्ट एंड लास्ट टॉपिक ऑफ डिस्कशन, यूजिंग ए रीजनरेटिव हीट एक्सचेंजर. ओके, using a regenerative heat exchanger, something like this. So let me draw the schematic diagram. So this is your evaporator, this is the evaporator. Okay, after the evaporator, if you will attach some kind of heat exchanger here, if you will attach some kind of heat exchanger here, so that superheating can be ensured. So this is the heat exchanger, and then here you need to attach the compressor. This is the compressor, this is compressor, something like this. Let me show it like this. So okay, then at the end of the compressor, what you will have? You will have a condenser here. So this is the condenser, this is condenser. Okay, and at the exit of the condenser, what you will do? What you will do is, this particular refrigerant, okay, let me show it here only. So this refrigerant, this will enter here. Let me show it here so that it will be easy to show here. So this is condenser, and again condenser. After the condenser, the refrigerant will enter into the heat exchanger. Okay, so this is the refrigerant. Okay, now this is compressor. Okay, this is condenser, this is your heat exchanger. Okay, and then here you will have a expansion device, something like this, and then you will have evaporator. So the cycle will be something like this. Okay, the cycle will be something like this. So this is something like this. Okay, yes. So this actually combined using regenerative heat exchanger for subcooling and superheating, So if you are using this kind of arrangement, guys, you are not increasing the size of the condenser, you are not increasing the size of the evaporator, you are not attaching additional subcooler, you are using a heat exchanger actually. And this heat exchanger, this will allow that this refrigerant will, low temperature refrigerant, which when will enter from the evaporator, so this will be superheated. So superheated refrigerant will enter into the compressor, and when the saturated refrigerant will enter into the heat exchanger, again it will be subcooled by rejecting its heat, because from here to here the heat transfer will takes place. यहाँ से यहाँ heat क्या जाएगी because the condenser temperature is more than the evaporator temperature, so it will reject heat to this particular refrigerant, low temperature, low pressure refrigerant. So here this refrigerant will be superheated, and here this refrigerant will be subcooled. यहाँ से यहाँ क्या होगा? Superheating. Okay, superheating. Okay, and यहाँ से यहाँ क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों? That will be subcooling. That's why this is actually combined subcooling and superheating. Okay, so if you will draw the schematic diagram, cycle diagram. So let me draw it on here, TS diagram. So the TS diagram will be something like this. TS diagram will be something like this. So let me draw it like this. So this is the superheating, and something like this. Then it will be okay. So the diagram will be something like this. So this is 1, suppose this is 2, okay, and let me mark this as 2. So this is 1, this is 2, and suppose this is 2 dash, and this is 3 dash, suppose this is 4 dash, this is 4, suppose, and this is 3, for example, this is 3. Okay, so now this is what? This is superheating, and this is what? This is subcooling. Individually we discussed what is the effect of superheating, what is the effect of subcooling. And here guys, because there is no superheating is carried out in the evaporator, so refrigeration effect क्या रहेगा? Refrigeration effect क्या रहेगा? Unchanged. Unchanged. Because you are not carrying out refrigeration effect into the नहीं, यहाँ पे subcooling you are carrying out, superheating is not there, so refrigeration effect will increase. Refrigeration effect will increase. So superheating is not inside the evaporator, but subcooling is taking place. So total refrigeration effect will increase. Refrigeration effect आपका क्या करेगा? Increase करेगा, but compressor work will also increase. WC will also increase. Will also increase. Superheating, WC will increase because the inlet temperature is increasing. Okay, pressure is same, but inlet temperature is increasing, so WC will increase. Subcooling you are carrying out, so refrigeration effect will increase. COP can increase or decrease. COP can increase or decrease because this is actually a ratio. Decrease depending on the refrigerant, depending on type of refrigerant. Okay, like for R11, R12, we will observe the increase in performance. Okay, like for R12, it will increase. R12 sport, what you can say, COP increases. COP increases. Or for what you can say, ammonia. Okay, ammonia के लिए क्या करेगा? Ammonia के लिए the COP will decrease. Are you getting my point, guys? Okay. So this is combined effect. We discussed. This is the schematic diagram. This is the expansion device. Expansion device. Okay. So I think you got some idea from the today's discussion what are the effect of various operating parameter like condenser pressure, evaporator pressure, the superheating, subcooling combined when we are using. Okay. So just again revise these things. If you face any kind of difficulty, you are free to get back to me. You can WhatsApp me or you can call also, or you can shoot your query in the comment section also. Okay. So keep preparing. Good luck. Thank you very much and have a nice day.